what we do here is go back.
Hi, I'm Zaman, this is Best Hombre, and today we're going to be putting this ECS Tuning Luft-technik intake on this 3.6 liter VR6. First thing you got to do is you have to deal with this. This is like the bane of Volkswagen assistance. You have to be very careful with this gray clip. If you break it, you're going to end up changing this whole connector because it's not going to stay on nice, and it might give you check engine lights. So you got to be very careful with this clip. Push it from the bottom, pull from the top, whatever you got to do. Try not to break it. And then you just have 1, 2, and then the whole thing kind of pops off. There are a couple Torx screws for this front air duct that needs to come off, that needs to come out before you're ready to pop the whole intake off. So there's one here, it looks like a T20 or T25, and then one over here, and then that's pretty much it. You don't even have to mess with like the 12 Torx screws that are on the airbox, which makes this like actually a really easy install. And while we're under here, because it's the VR6, keep an eye on your coolant levels. That seems to be just where it was before, so hopefully it's not losing any coolant, but as we know, these engines tend to lose head gaskets and they eat coolant and water pumps, so keep an eye on it. It's T25 confirmed. So it just kind of slides back and then kind of lift off because it's inside of the airbox for the original intake. The good news is they use the same 7mm socket for these collars as well as the collars that you're going to be putting on the new system. So you really only need the one. So I've loosened this collar, pop that off, we'll get the intake tube off. Let's take a look at this. So this is the ECS tuning tube. It's going to go from the throttle body here to the airbox, and this is the regular tube, the stock airbox tube. So that has to be the same obviously, but this is much bigger, or at least somewhat bigger, and it's thicker, and it's a straight tube versus this flex. You know, the flex ridges create turbulence in the airflow. This will be a straight through situation. I should be able to pop this out. Look at that socket holder. Alright. There's 3 grommets at the bottom of this. The new one only has 2 grommets, so I guess it just doesn't need the third one. and it has this, I guess, water evacuation tube to it, and it has this resonator piece back here. So this actually is like a resonator that sits underneath the mass airflow sensor. And then this is the cold air side. The cold air goes in through here from the front grille, and that first piece we took off, and it connects right through there. So we'll see how much better this really is, because the original one's kind of like a cold air, although it has some restrictions in the tube, and it has, like I said, there's a resonator in here, and the panel filter setup is sometimes not ideal. So the mass airflow sensor has looks like 2 torque 25s, and I don't think we're going to be reusing them. So this is with the throttle body, the inlet tube removed. These are the 3 grommets, 1, 2, 3. And you have this one here. That's the one I pulled on first, secured that loose, and then I kind of pulled back from here, and then this one came out last. I don't know if it's the right way, but it's the way I did it, actually. And then get this throttle body, see if there's any carbon. It looks pretty clean. That's why you don't leave your tools on the fucking engine. If that ever happens to you, basically all I had to do is pop off this little trim piece, take off one Torx 25 screw, and then this came right out, and I was able to put, I'll show you what I have. Go to Harbor Freight and get one of these long things with a magnet on the end. You can pull anything out from anywhere with this. It's fantastic. Very nice. Haven't already got one of these. Grip mat, fantastic. This is the gasket, and I just put it on for 2 seconds and realized it's going to ruin it. So I'm going to take this off actually and just have it mate directly to that surface, and I'll put this back in the original box. Alright, so far we've tightened up the mass airflow sensor. I'm going to tighten these guys up. Let's see. Now for the final piece. Okay. It's 8. This kind of put air through here, and this guy has to go here. Okay. Averaging 40 miles per hour, I was able to get 21.1. I was getting about 22, but I sat for a while because it was cold, starting up the car a couple times. Ooh. Warm up, let's go. You can definitely hear it.